So the first thing that I did when I decided that I wanted the turbo in my car was to begin with research. And I've searched forum after forum, and the best forum that I found for anything with the Mazda 3 in general, especially the non-turboed ones, is this Mazda 3 forums, which you can go to Google or any search engine, just type in Mazda 3 forums at the top, and we're going to click the first one here. And so this is where I went. They got a bunch of little write-ups in here that talk about how to turbo your Mazda 3. Like there's even one write-up where it's like a step-by-step guide on how to do it. But of course, it's going to differ a little bit depending on what it is that you're wanting to do. So if you're wanting to accomplish big number goals like 400 horsepower, then, that's great. But you need to know what you want before you can just jump into it. So I knew for me that I only wanted to do with this current setup about 200, 250 the wheel horsepower. At least that's my end goal. So they've actually changed this site a little bit since I've been on it. But you can go into, like, they got the powertrain, suspension, lighting. They got a Mazda speed section. So after I'd done all my research and I decided what my end goal was going to be, that is when I just started making a price list or a parts list of everything that I thought that I needed just from what I found from the forum that I was looking at. So this is actually my YouTube channel right here, or one of my videos, the How to Turbo Mazda 3. And so my mod list, this is the parts that I wrote down that I wanted to get for my car to be able to turbo, and the stuff that I knew that I needed. Of course, there was other things along the way that I figured out that I needed as I got into it, but that we'll get into later. But this is where I started. I wrote out a mods list, and I wrote down, okay, obviously I need a turbo, I need a manifold, intercooler, blow-off valve, all this stuff that's listed here. Now, before I decided to start just buying stuff, I had to decide on what kind of turbo I wanted. And I decided to go with a T25, a T28, something a little smaller, because since I was only looking for about 200, 250 wheel horsepower for right now, I wanted something a little smaller that would spool faster. And because I wasn't looking for like big, huge power, I was just looking for a little bit more fun on the acceleration. I went with a Garrett TB28, and I did find this on eBay. If you go to my other video about the price listings, I list in there where I found all this stuff, so I'm going to go check out that video. But I went with the Garrett TB28 Turbo. I had a hard time finding a manifold, and I finally found this high boost manifold, and even though it was for a T3, T4, high boost was a kit that was made for the Mazda 3 a while ago. I guess probably about 10 years ago now. And so I actually had an adapter plate welded on to be able to use it. The Turbo XS, RFL, blow-off valve, and my gauges are the only things that I bought that were non-eBay or non-cheap, I guess. Everything else I just went cheap on. I got a cheap front mount intercooler, piping, everything. All that stuff works fine. And then, of course, in some of my other videos, if you want to go into more detail, this is some of the stuff that I did to my car to get it ready for the turbo, like the lightweight flywheel and clutch, GR2 shocks and struts, the Ton springs, and custom back exhaust. Grounded my throttle body, and when I did turbo my car, that's the spark plug, or that's the gap that I use for my spark plugs. So that's pretty much what I did up front. So once I decided what I wanted, I started going. I started with eBay, and I bought some of the stuff on other websites too. But one thing that I could recommend that that I did, it was just take your time. Like, don't rush it. With that being said, there's actually several things that you can do. You can try to find kits, which those are kind of hard to find, that are actually made for the Mazda. Like, you see these kits here when you type it in the Google, but they're still going to say universal. But the manifolds and stuff, you need to make sure that stuff should fit, like this one right here. This one's only $600, and of course it's a full eBay kit. Whoa, what's going on here? Okay, I think it's taking me to the eBay app. But I mean, for $600, I mean, that gives you everything. You got your manifold, your downpipe, turbo, piping, all that stuff. Of course, it's all, none of this is, all the intercooler piping is going to be custom. You're going to have to cut it to fit and all that stuff. But that's not a bad deal if that's something that you want to do. I wouldn't, if you're trying to run power like me, about 200, 250 wheel horsepower, this might be an option for you if you don't want to sit around and piece out a kit. But not a bad price for, or a bad deal for the price. Let's see. Let's get back to Google. There we go. But there's all kinds of options. Like, you got a Greddy option right here, or you can find one like this where it's a Mazda Speed. This looks like it came off a Speed 3. So if you're one of those people that likes to keep your car like name brand, as far as like, oh, I drive a Mazda, I want Mazda parts, well, here you go. Look at this. You get it's all used and everything, but it was a reactive racing turbo kit, which from what I've heard, good things about those kits. But this is pretty much everything you need right here. The turbo, the manifold, downpipes. Looks like you got some oil lines there, gaskets, front mount. Come on, scroll over. Well, there we go. So yeah, I mean, that's always an option. But I chose the option of piecing together my kit because I wanted certain things, like certain blow-off valves, certain gauges and stuff like that. So, but you can do it however you like to, and because it is your car and you get to decide what you want. So you want to piece together, that's what I did. If I thought it was more fun, go at it, have at it. But this is a good place to start. It's just typing into Google and seeing what comes up. So I just want to give you a little sneak peek to next week's video. We're going to start installing parts, and of course I know I already have it installed in the car, but I'm going to actually show you how I installed everything on my car. So next week's video is going to be the intercooler, because that's actually where I started. I started installing it first. Don't ask me why, that's just what I did. So, but I wanted to show you the exact intercooler that I bought, and it was an RDT, and I bought all black one with the black piping. Trying to see if I can find one on here, but similar to that, but it's not for a Honda. It was just a generic kit, kind of like this one right here for 164. Because I wanted to keep my car in kind of like a sleeper status. But that's what we're going to go with next week, and I hope this video was informative, and I hope it gets you on the right path if you're thinking about turboing your Mazda 3, which I know a lot of you that have been watching these videos are interested in that, and I want you to feel like that you can do it, because I wasn't sure if I could do it, and I did it. So is it perfect? Probably not, but who cares? It's your car, and it feels 10 times better when it's something that you know that you did versus you just going out and buying one that was already done. So with that being said, I hope you get out there, and I hope you are able to take some of this information so far and be able to start piecing together your kit. And of course, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave in the comments below, and I will answer them as soon as I can. But anyway, hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see y'all later.